There's one set of rules for protection.
Amen.
While no one got hurt in the downtown gas, 12-year-old kid was killed and 15 were injured. We simply want a difficult thing, one set of rules.
That's right.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
For the watchdog groups, we know that they're not supposed to carry a weapon when they're out patrolling, but is it just prohibited that they carry a weapon, or is it actually illegal for them to carry a weapon when they're patrolling the neighborhoods?
Well, that is certainly an issue that's in this case. All the universal neighborhood watch organizations around the world say that you're not supposed to carry armed weapons when you patrol on neighborhood watch. So that is certainly something that we ask the special prosecutor to vet and investigate and look at thoroughly as to why a neighborhood watch volunteer would be carrying a 9mm gun. As it was explained to Mr. Tracy Martin, 2 days after his son was killed, George Zimmerman had a right to carry a gun. However, the question still lingers, was he carrying that gun on neighborhood watch patrol? And if so, under what authority he was doing so. So that's a question like so many other questions in this case.
I say maybe the most painful part of this, as I see it, is the fact that Zimmerman has a running chance of being set free. The killer of Emmett Till was acquitted. The killer, Matt Gibbons, walked the streets free for 30 years. The officer who profiled Dr. Gates walked free and was apologized to. The killer of Trayvon Martin is walking free. There's a pattern. The men who beat Rodney King walked free. And that's why the Department of Justice must be super active in deterring crime, affording all citizens equal and adequate protection under the law. And that is not the pattern. And that is the pain of this, that they're not trying to justify Zimmerman's action. They showed film last week of his head being battered in the back. That's quite beside the point. They say that Trayvon had a trace of marijuana in a bag in Miami. The fact that he was profiled and pursued, and the orders were overruled and he was then killed, it's a fairly clear-cut case of what happened to him. But it's pretty clear-cut what happened to Dr. Gates and Emmett Till and Matt Gibbons. This double standard must end. Again, I want to thank, before we leave, this family for representing the pain of all of us. And I want all of us to support this foundation as they use their strength to have motivating workshops around the country, that we might share responsibility, all of us, to stop the flow of God. Last one. I'm sorry, yes, ma'am.
To the Martins, can you talk about the kind of support or reception you've gotten from these other families of gun violence, whether it be like strength in numbers or just support or ideas of what you guys can be doing?
And before they answer that, let me just say one thing that's very important. The police said that this was ultimately avoidable. And that's real important because that shows you there are good police officers there now. They got overruled for whatever reason, but they said it was ultimately avoidable because they felt had Zimmerman did what a neighborhood watch person is supposed to do. Watch, and if you feel something suspicious, call the police. The police feel that they were adequately trained to handle this situation, and had he simply did that, George Zimmerman wouldn't be charged with murder. Trayvon Martin would be living, and that is an important factor to consider. Now, there are so many things that happen that it just boggles the mind that the shooter wasn't given a drug test, so we don't know if anything influenced his decision-making abilities that night because there wasn't one done, and that's something that's really troubling as we go forward with this case. But we will have Sabrina Tracy ask the last question because I know they've been up real early this morning.
The question that you asked was in reference to other people that have gone through this. We have received a tremendous amount of people that we have met during this ordeal, and some of them are with us right now, and we do share a unique fraternity because it's very difficult when you have lost a loved one, but it's magnified when you have lost a child, a minor child. It hurts very deeply, and our strength comes from each other, and our strength comes from our family and our friends and the people that support us. So we appreciate those people that support us and that can understand what we're going through. And we just offer them condolences ourselves. Even during our time of bereavement, we offer them condolences, and that helps us too.
Let me say, we're going to end this now. I want to say that before Tracy closes out, Bishop Tavis Grant is our field director. He's a point person as these families are rallying to push them around the country. There's acts of violence. We meet every Thursday night at 6 o'clock. And from North Chicago to Calumet City, to South Indiana around, Bishop Tavis Grant is the point person, and Bishop, you might want to close us out. Once Tracy will finish as to how people can work with you to follow up on additional cases. One of my fears, members of the press, is that you, the press, and this is not regarding or disrespectful, we are so inundated with killings, we've almost adjusted. We about to count killings as another one, a step. We have made the great sin about being so close to this is the adjustment. For a long time, the question was, well, we got a Trayvon in our town too. Many people missed it until the families would not turn it loose, and finally it became viral in the media. I might add social media before it became viral in the major media. And so we want you who know, the idea of Howard Morgan, can't get past that. Shot 28 times. I went to see him in the hospital. Bullets in his backside, being plucked out with his ankles tied to the bed. Went to the home of Stephon Watts. His dad had called him because the kid was autistic. He was having disruptions before he was cooled out. And they came and shot him in front of his dad in the house, with an angle looking down. They shot him in cold blood. We saw that on the case of Rekia Boyd. So we've seen this, and the tendency is to say, well, it's another one. And we must ourselves break that cycle and begin to break these stories. Mr. Tracy, much semi-closing, we'll have to leave.
And I just to answer your question. What a lot of people don't realize is fathers, such as him and myself, sometimes you really don't get to say what you want to say. But from father to father, I feel your pain. I know that more people are more lenient to the moms because we are the head of the household and we are supposed to be the backbone. But fathers really go through this just as worse as the mothers. And but to keep that family structure going, stay strong, continue to pray, continue to have faith. You know what I'm saying, and just lean on your better half when you have doubt. Lean on God.
Thank you very much.
Before we leave, I want you to not right now. Before we leave, we'll meet the family because they've been up since like we crack it up. We'll meet with them for a minute, not yes, right now. Do let me say in closing that with all of the focus, again I repeat, on the NATO conference last week, the plan to salvage Afghanistan. So that we've got a plan for $2 billion a week.
That's a shame.
And 1,700 soldiers killed and Americans in 10 years. 5,300 in Chicago. There was some focus by the media on some demonstrators who were in confrontation with police last Sunday. The 12-year-old kid was killed in Chicago last Saturday too. And 15 were gunshot injured and 2 were killed last night. And we want the same energy put into protecting our guests, protect our residents. Friends, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next week, is that okay with you?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay. So that's okay with me.